All right, so this is my first time ever getting to my throttle cables, so y'all gonna learn with me. So far I've removed my gas tank, and I need to get my airbox removed. Removing the gas tank is pretty simple. I have another video on that. So I'm gonna skip some of the easy stuff, not showing you exactly everything. All right, so to remove the air filter cover, there's 6 screws. So 8 screws total. Move this out the way. Hit all 6 of these screws. Disconnect the sensor, and then you can get this out the way. After you remove the cover, remove these 2 screws to get your air filter out. Next, you disconnect your fuel line from your fuel rail. There's this little rubber restrictor that sits in between this, so you got to move this out the way, and then you can squeeze these tabs to disconnect your hose. Next, we'll disconnect the connectors, and I'll probably disconnect it from here. I already have mine disconnected from here too, so we can get this out the way so that we can lift this up. Also gonna have to get this out the way. All right, so my Hayes manual says that I need to remove my steering damper so that way this could be disconnected, but I don't think I necessarily need to. I'm going to unscrew the rest of the housing and try to get it off without messing around in there. But yes, there's about 6 more screws, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 6 more screws, and then we're gonna lift it up, and then we'll take care of those funnels after that. All right, all the screws are removed, so I should be able to take off this upper part of the housing. It's gonna take some finessing since I only got one hand. So yeah, let me get this out the way and show you what it looks like. All right, got the upper part off. Now we need to remove the screws for the funnels. Got to disconnect that map sensor. All right, after you start pulling up on it, as you can see, it's disconnected from those throttle bodies. That's when you can see the hoses that need to be disconnected. So there's one here directly on the opposite side as well. All right, the lower part of the housing has been removed. These were the hoses that were connected. Pretty simple to remove. And then the cable for the map sensor as well. So now we've got access to those throttle cables.
During reassembly, do not forget to connect this vacuum hose back to your airbox, or you will get an FI error code.
All right, next we're gonna disconnect the cables, all the cables that are left pretty much, all the fuel injector cables. And then there are some long screws. Well, not long screws, but we need a long screwdriver. There is these clamp screws here. You can see the other one off in the distance. And then we'll have to get on the other side of the bike to get the other 2. And then we should be able to loosen this up enough to where we can get to that bottom cable. All right, some of those screws were hard to reach, so I used this long extender and I loosened up the hose clamps. And then the throttle bodies are set in these rubber boots. So it takes some wiggling, but you keep wiggling that motherfucker, and then it'll pull out. Thunk. And now we have access to replace this throttle. All right, so next we need to get these cables free. You do the upper one by loosening it from here, the lower one from the lock nut. So get these free, and then we'll be able to remove them from the pulley. All right, now the cables are free, and the upper one, you can see the end of that cable moving down there. Can't really get in there good enough to show y'all, I don't think. But yeah, it works like most little cable things. There's a little hammer basically, so I'll be able to just push it forward and then slip it out. But again, one hand, kind of hard to show. Let me see if I can move this up some. This is a little better angle, so I've pulled the throttle bodies and rotated it this way, and so that way you can kind of see where that cable is connecting into down by where it's yellow. So this was going along the pulley, this cable here. But yeah, I'm gonna get it out. And this is how it was in there. So really you just have to kind of pull it forward and slide it out. Pretty simple. Had to do the same thing for the lower cable. There it is, next to the yellow and purple. All right, so next we'll loosen these up and then open up our housing by taking out the 2 screws. They're just Phillips head screws here and on the other side. And this looks like a 12, I'm guessing. Scratch that, it was a 14. And get those off. This is a better look at what the cables look like on the throttle body. So yeah, you just roll it forward till you line it with that slot, and you can pull the little hammer out. Bada bing, bada boom. Go ahead and pull this out. So I did end up disconnecting the steering damper, whatever. 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing crazy. Now these can be pulled out and removed. Stock throttle gone. Time for the Motion Pro. So I've decided to go with the progressive reel. So at first it's going to open slow, and then the more you turn it, the quicker you'll get to. That doesn't make any sense. Let me just show you what's up with the progressive wheel. Pause and read if you so choose. But yeah, that's what I'm choosing. And it says you have to apply a thin layer of grease down in the channel and then where the cables will sit. So I just use some multi-purpose grease and probably a toothpick to spread it on thin. All right, so I've already lubed these, and the one with the 2 nuts on it is the opening. This is the closing. The opening one goes on the bottom. That's the harder one. The opening one goes on top. And yeah, let's start with putting them back on the throttle bodies first. I think that'll be easiest. So I did a few Google searches, and the one on the bottom is the open cable, also known as the pull cable. So I've labeled it over here, the open / pull. So the other one is push / close. Yeah. So I don't get too confused, because man, I'm about to get lost in the sauce. God damn, it's already almost midnight. All right, so when installing your cam, you can see there's kind of a lip. So I made the mistake of thinking it fit like this, and it's supposed to kind of seat against that lip. That is incorrect. It shouldn't be that loose. It should be a snug fit to where it doesn't fall off. And then I just greased that a little bit, and then now we can slide this bad boy on. And the one that is more circular shaped, that's where our open or our pull goes. And then the one that's more oval is where the close or the push one goes. Yep, so that's how they'll both be sitting in there, nice and pretty. And then next we'll put the housing on. Here's the housing. It just had 2 bolts that are already removed. So then we'll just slide this on. So here's one half. It's going to fit on like this, and then this will slide into that housing. And you can see it's kind of indented and grooved for this to fit here, it looks like. And then the other half will do the same thing, and they'll come together like butt cheeks. All right, the housing fits together pretty well, and then you can slide this on before you screw it down. All right, so here's the stock tube, and then here's the Motion Pro. Now the Motion Pro is extremely long, and I've been trying to get it to operate freely, but it kind of grabs the bar end, and my bar ends also have brake lever guards. So with how long it is, I think I'm going to shave some of it off. I don't want to scoop my brake reservoir in anymore. As you can see, it's already damaging the dash. And yeah, so I need more clearance. So I think I'm going to shorten this tube. Yes, sir. Crispy. Throttle return after shortening it. It was a very uneven cut. See how big this housing is, and I really don't want to have to scoot this over anymore. Matter of fact, I might shorten it even more so I could slide it over some. Now follow your manual. It says to adjust down here first. I think I'm happy with that adjustment down there, and then I need to adjust the return one. So yeah, and then it's just putting everything back together. Pretty much the reverse order of taking it off. And we'll do the grip. Did a video on that too. So y'all stay blessed. On second thought, before we call it a job done and put everything back together, I'm gonna get some throttle body cleaner and probably a vacuum and try to clean up some of all this before I put it back together. And then when we do put it back together, put a little bit of oil, some engine oil on that, so it can slide back in a little easier. I am a little concerned about this cable. The return cable is pretty damn loose, but I have it adjusted all the way out and it still snaps back. So I guess we're just gonna leave it as is. But y'all stay blessed. Don't be too stressed. Mess your shell. Peace.